The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council thrummed with alien laughter. Representatives from a dozen star systems gazed down at the lone human figure standing in the defendant's circle, their various appendages writhing in what passed for amusement among their species. Leo Chen stood with his weathered hands clasped behind his back, silver hair catching the bioluminescent light. At 73, he'd seen humanity's first steps among the stars, watched colonies bloom on distant worlds, and now witnessed what might be their end. Beside him, his granddaughter Mia shifted nervously, her diplomatic credentials worthless in this kangaroo court. The human speaks of treaties, wheezed Executor Vexhai through its breathing slits, its gelatinous form rippling with mirth, as if their primitive scribbles mean anything to the hegemony. More laughter echoed through the chamber. The Zephrani delegates' crystalline segments chimed mockingly, while the Korvath representative's mechanical voice box crackled with synthetic humor. "Grandfather," Mia whispered, touching Leo's arm. "Maybe we should—" "No," Leo said quietly, his voice carrying despite its softness. The chamber's acoustics were designed to amplify the defendant's pleas. "Let them laugh." Executor Vexhai leaned forward, its three eyes focusing on Leo. "You understand your position, elderly human? Your colonies will be harvested, your resources redistributed, your species relegated to servitude. The vote was unanimous." "Unanimous," Leo repeated, nodding slowly. "Tell me, Executor, do you know why humans live such short lives compared to your species?" The question seemed to catch Vexhai off guard. Its form shifted uncertainly. "Your biology is inferior. You burn bright and brief like insects." "No," Leo said, a strange smile playing at his lips. "It's because we learned something your long-lived species never did. Every human generation has to face death soon enough that we became very good at making our time count." The laughter was dying now, replaced by an uncomfortable silence. Leo continued, his voice gaining strength. "You see an old man and think me weak. You see our short lives and think us insignificant. But you've made a critical error in your calculations, Executor. You've forgotten what desperation does to a species that measures its existence in decades, not centuries. Threats, human?" Vexhai's voice dropped dangerously. "From a species with barely 300 ships?" "Not a threat," Leo said. He reached into his jacket slowly, pulling out a small holo projector. Mia's eyes widened. She hadn't known he'd brought it. A history lesson. The projector flared to life, showing images that made several delegates recoil. Burning cities, mushroom clouds, mass graves, war after war after war, each more terrible than the last. "We are not a peaceful species," Leo said as the images played. "We pretended to be when we met you among the stars. We hoped we could leave this part of us behind on Earth. But you want to know what humans are really good at, Executor? We're good at war. We're so good at it that we scared ourselves into peace for the last 50 years. Your nuclear weapons are primitive," scoffed the Korvath delegate. "Our shields, nuclear weapons?" Leo actually chuckled. "Oh, my dear metal friend. Those images are from over a century ago. Would you like to know what we've been developing since then? What we've been keeping locked away in hopes we'd never need them?" He touched the projector again. New images appeared. Schematics the Galactic Council's computers couldn't quite parse. Energy readings that made no sense. Test footage from dead moons that simply ceased to exist. Every human scientist for 3 generations has contributed to what we call the Prometheus Protocol, Leo said conversationally. "Beautiful name, isn't it? Prometheus brought fire to humanity. We've been perfecting it ever since." "Impossible," Vexhai said, but uncertainty rippled through its form. "Your technology level is exactly what we wanted you to believe." Mia spoke up suddenly, understanding flooding her features. She stood straighter, the nervousness gone. "Every treaty, every technology exchange, every diplomatic mission, we've been watching you. Learning your weaknesses, preparing." Leo nodded approvingly at his granddaughter. "We hoped we'd never need to use what we'd learned. We hoped the treaties would hold. But you forced our hand." His expression hardened. "You want war? We will give you war. But I warn you now, we don't fight like you do. We don't stop when it's logical. We don't pause when it's profitable. We fight until either we're dead or you are." The chamber had gone completely silent. Several delegates were consulting their personal systems, running calculations, reviewing human history with new eyes. "You're bluffing," Vexhai said finally, but its voice lacked conviction. Leo shrugged. "Maybe, want to find out?" You've already voted to destroy our colonies. What do we have to lose? He looked around the chamber, meeting every alien gaze. But ask yourselves this. If we're just primitive insects, why did we survive on a death world for 200,000 years? Why did we split the atom within decades of discovering electricity? Why did we go from first flight to landing on our moon in less than a human lifetime? He paused, letting the question sink in. Because we are very, very good at killing things that threaten us. It's our oldest, most refined skill, and you just threatened our children. The vote to reconsider humanity's status took less than 5 minutes. It was unanimous. As Leo and Mia left the chamber, she whispered, "Grandfather, the Prometheus Protocol. Does it really exist?" Leo smiled, the expression not quite reaching his eyes. "Do you know the most terrifying thing about humans, Mia? It's not our weapons or our willingness to use them. It's that our enemies never really know what we're capable of until it's too late." Behind them, the Galactic Council erupted in heated debate. The harvesting fleet already en route to human space was quietly recalled. Sometimes the greatest weapon wasn't what you could do. It was what others believed you might do when pushed too far. And no species in the galaxy pushed quite like humanity when their survival was at stake. The war never came. It didn't need to. The elderly human's words echoed through the stars, a reminder that some species were too dangerous to corner, no matter how weak they might appear. After all, humans had practice. Thousands of years of terrible, bloody practice, and that more than any weapon was what saved them.